Alright, and welcome back. Now, believe it or not, I did some... The bone was musty and dark, searching with straining eyes and groping hand. Owen slightly called out. Over here, I think I found something. Halfway up one wall of the structure, a small X had been scratched into the wood, and just below that spot, there was a raised area of dirt. Together they began to dig, and several feet below the surface uncovered a rotting wooden box. Inside were 12 silver royals and a small leather pouch. Okay. Like I was saying, well, I did some farming of gold from the house off screen. I also, let me load this up. I also went back to Brother Mark to see if I had learned the chest move. Apparently I did. I went up to around here to get an emerald. Came back down to Malik's Cross, played the chess match, won. All it got me was another emerald, which, if I took it back to the gem salesman, I could sell both back for the price I paid for the first one. So it really isn't worth it unless, I suppose, you have an emerald. The emerald I won from Ivan, I think his name is, was a 100% quality emerald. I don't know if it matches what you bet or if it's always 100%. I suppose if you had a 1% emerald or something on hand, it would be worth doing it, but for me it's not really worth it. I also found a few battles that that were new for this chapter in this area. But I reloaded my save. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any of that on this save. So before we do anything, I'm going to go back up here. Well, I didn't do this on video, so it's not really back. And visit the Temple of Lims-Kragma. Make sure we learn this. Make sure we learn that. And we're going to cure everyone, even though it'll cost 150 sovereigns. I could do it for free if I use up some restoratives and herbs and stuff, but I don't feel like doing that, so I'll just cure everyone. Let's talk. There were no walls in the High Priestess's chamber. James struggled to imagine how any such room could fit within the confines of the temple, seeming as vast as any river valley through which he had ever passed. Even more startling had been the winding maze-like corridors the death acolytes had led them through to reach the room. Few rushed to speak to Our Lady. I am curious to know why you wish to converse with us, the High Priestess said softly. A gauzy black pavilion draped her throne, obscuring from view all but her lithe form, limbed in witchlight, and a single pale foot which she rested upon a skull carved of onyx. Why do you call on the drawer of nets? Seeing no point in lying to her, James shrugged. Curiosity as much as anything, High Priestess. I wish to learn a little more about what awaits me when I am no longer living, and you, short of the Mother Matriarch in Rillanon, are probably the one with the best answers. I do not like surprises. Unless you are prepared to devote your life to her services, I cannot help you. It is not something I may merely unfold for you in an hour or an afternoon, she said. I will say this. There is no joy or love in her realm, but neither is there sorrow or pain. You have nothing to fear of her unless you swear the oaths of a nighthawk. Why? What would that mean? Pain everlasting, the High Priestess replied. Those who are nighthawks have sworn a dark oath, and those of them that are known as the Black Slayers swear the darkest oath of them all. allying themselves to other gods or goddesses who would hold them free of the portal of death at the price of their souls. Once a man becomes a black slayer, he may only be called into her halls by an invocation of Lims-Kragma herself, the prayer of final rest. That's the game's way of telling you that when you're fighting the Nighthawks that don't die, that you need to cast that spell on them for them to actually finally die. I suppose. Now that we're done with that, I think I was saying something before I went into the temple, but I can't think of it now. Oh, well, I'm sure it wasn't really anything important. Body, 5 gold, goodbye, rope. I don't even really need, I don't need the rope, forget it, leave it. Well, let's continue on. We're going to go visit the Oracle, I think is what it's called. James squinted while he was expecting to see the spires of some distant town or the smoke of a chandler's hearth fire at the twist of the road. He was surprised to see instead a grayish lump settled near a clump of young trees. "Have you ever heard of a grey dragon, Gorath?" Gorath shook his head. "No, why?" "Because that's what may be at the end of this road," James replied. "Feeling brave? We can go and have a closer look." "Yes." The dragon statue. Chiseled from dark stone, the statue of the dragon was rendered with frightful realism. Its burning gaze surely as malicious in stone as it had been in life. Forgive me, I'm rather tired right now, but I want to get some more videos done. Most impressive of all were the yellow teeth and claws, stained cleverly at the tips with a red pigment to simulate the blood drawn from an unfortunate victim. Let's look in here. We have that, which I'll take, I suppose. The statue was large, walking around its base. Gorath couldn't help but admire the sinuous curve of the dragon's back, the whole of its... Maybe I should just take a rest tonight and continue later. The whole of it covered with beveled scales. Rounding the tail of the creature, he called for Owen to come and have a look, but was startled by the clouded apprehension in the boy's blue eyes. "Something is wrong," Gorath asked. Owen gasped, as if to say something, then made a motion to the statue before collapsing to the ground.
"You were expected, friends."
"Greetings, Owen." "What? Where am I?" "Well, your body is lying safe, still and silent in a cove near Malak's Cross. Your mind has journeyed elsewhere. Here." I realize, I don't know if you heard it, but the voice is feminine. I should try to copy the voice as best as I can, but... "Your arrival has been expected. I am pleased to have you as my honored guest, Owen Belafort of Tibern." Me? "At journey's end you shall not be as you are, nor may you turn back the way you have come. The times ahead of you will be filled with hardship, and many times you will believe yourself far less significant than you truly are. In the days to come you may stand at a critical juncture between Rythar and Mythar, and if that comes to pass, you should know this: a time comes for all things to die." "What does that mean? Who are Rythar and Mythar?" "I can explain in no measure more than as you yet understand your world. In years and in wisdom you will come to me again, and a great destiny will be upon you by then. You will be ready for the fullness of truth on that distant day. Until such time you may consult me on other matters. Tales say that dragons know their own destinies, but I had not heard that they knew the destiny of others. I am no dragon, though I wear a dragon skin. I am the Oracle of the Aal, and I am the last of my race. I am ancient, older than dwarf or elf, older than dragons, and older than the Valhiru who were their masters. Stars that at my birth flamed with violent power have long grown cold, expired. All these things I have seen, and further yet I see into the things that might be. You can see the future? I can glimpse things that may be. Such was the gift given to all those of my race. I'm going to cut the video off here, and when we return we will continue to speak to the Oracle of Aal.